up, guys? Duster McDaniels back here with another video, and welcome back to the NHL preview series here in the Atlantic Division. Today we are finishing up this division with the Florida Panthers. They are the team we are going to be looking at today. We'll take a look at how they finished off last year, the players that they've brought in and out of the squad, as well as take a look at projected lineups. We'll look at contracts as well as predict what they're going to do this upcoming season. But if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. On the screen now is a stat for the most of you guys who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. So if you guys like anything NHL hockey related, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because that is what we are going to be doing all season long. But without further ado, let's go ahead, hop into this episode and take a look at the Florida Panthers. Having had one of their best seasons in franchise history, the Florida Panthers finished off last season with a record of 58, 18, and 6, which was good enough for 122 points, which was good enough for the division win as well as the President's Trophy. Pretty outstanding stuff from the Panthers, as they had some unreal play from Huberdeau, Barkov, Reinhart, Duclair, Ekblad, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Merchman. They had some incredible play from all of their players, but just weren't good enough to get it done in the playoffs, as they snuck by the Washington Capitals 4-2 in the first round before getting swept by the Tampa Bay Lightning, their state rival, in embarrassing fashion. You never want to see that, the Battle of Florida, as they've had it the past couple of years in the playoffs, but just unable to get it done. And I think that that's why there is somewhat of turnover when it comes to the squad this upcoming season. Taking a look now at their team stats, they finished off the year, again, great stuff. Goals for, they were ranked first in the league. Goals against, they were 13th. Their power play was 24.4% with a penalty kill of 79.5. Now, again, a little disparity there between their goals for and goals against, which they'll have to try to shore up this upcoming season. But now taking a look at the players that have left and brought in, there's a lot of turnover with this squad, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do when it comes to chemistry and the way the team plays. Players that have left the squad, you've got Claude Giroux has ended up leaving the squad. There's no way he was actually going to stay in Florida. Jonathan Huberdeau having gone to the Calgary Flames, as well as defenseman Mackenzie Weegar also leaving the squad, is Mason Marchman, Noel Achari, and then defenseman Ben Sherrod. So a lot of turnover with players from last season's team leaving the squad, but they have brought some good faces in when it comes to goal scoring. They've got Matthew Tkachuk, who they brought in with that trade with Huberdeau in the Calgary Flames, so it'll be interesting to see him in a Florida Panthers jersey playing alongside Barkov on that first line. You also have Chris Tierney as well as Colin White coming down from the Ottawa Senators. It'll be interesting to see how they play in Florida. You've got Nick Cousins, Rudos Blasiers on the front end as well, and then on the back end they've brought in Mark Stahl and Michael Del Zotto into the squad. So it'll be interesting to see the new faces and how they mesh with the squad. And on your screen right now, we are actually taking a look at their projected lines. Again, these are nothing final, but looking at it, they are looking very stacked. Verhaeghe, Barkov, Tkachuk on that first line. That's honestly looking like one of the best first lines in the NHL. You've got Blasiers, Bennett, and Reinhart on that second line. Interesting to see them and how they'll be able to mesh. Again, Bennett and Reinhart, I think the chemistry is there, but we'll see with the new guy coming in. Third line, you've got Cousins, Lindell, and White as of now. We'll see how that plays out. I don't fully expect that to be their third line. I kind of expect Chris Tierney to pop in there with the Colin White chemistry coming down from Ottawa, so we'll see then. And then the fourth line, Lomberg and Hornquist, really the only ones that I know of. Hornquist, 5'3", on the cap hit. They'll have to try and find a way to maybe move that possibly. On the back end now, you've got Forsling, Ekblad, Carlson, Gudas, Stahl, and Montour. Not the best of back lines, but losing Weegar, it's hard to replace a player like that. So a player who needs to step up this year and have a big time year is going to be Forsling in my mind. I feel like he's going to have a solid year. And then between the pipes, is it still going to be Bobrovsky as the starter, or is Spencer Knight actually going to step up and take over the starting duties? That'd be a tough toll to pay, as Bobrovsky's contract is absolutely crazy. But now looking at the contracts as we speak about it, they don't have a lot that they need to really get done when it comes to re-upping players. On the front end, you've got Hornquist, who's the only unrestricted after this season. I don't expect him to be making anywhere near $5.3 million on his next contract if he gets one. I fully expect him to be one of those players in the next 3 years, to be one of those 1 year, $1 million type dollar players for any team who needs some depth, salt and pepper, because he can definitely bring it to any lineup. You've got Colin White, who's a restricted deal. He is 25 years old, and this is basically a contract year. I expect him to play solid hockey, maybe be around that 40 to 60 point range, depending on if he's healthy and how well he produces with the new lines and the new team and how he fits in. Really, Blessier's also restricted year coming up, 25 years old. Be interesting to see what he does and if he can earn himself another contract, whether it is with the Panthers or not. On the back end, you've got a little bit more turnover after next season coming up. 2 unrestricted deals. You've got Gudis and Stahl. Again, Stahl, more of those rent-a-type players, as well as Gudis. He's up there in age. He is 32 years old. I expect this to be his last big contract that he's on currently right now at $2.5 million. So the next couple deals might be around that 1.2 to 1.8 range for 1 or 2 years. You've got Carlson. Again, still young, 25 years old, restricted year coming up, so we'll see what they can do for him. And then Mark Stahl, this could potentially be his last year in the show. Who knows? Maybe he has a good year. We'll have to find out. But then they've got to deal with Spencer Knight, restricted year after this upcoming season, still technically on that rookie contract. It'll be interesting to see, depending on how he plays, if he can earn himself a contract, and maybe we end up seeing Bobrovsky out the door, Spencer Knight take the job. But who knows, that $10 million contract, they would have to eat a lot of that to try and get him out the door if Spencer Knight is going to step up and be the starting goaltender this year. But who knows, maybe Bobrovsky finds a way to stay in the pipes for another year to keep that contract running down in Florida with the no state tax. But my predictions for the Panthers this year, with all the turnover they have, I don't think it's going to be a similar season as they had last year. I honestly see them fighting for a wild card spot this year with the Bruins, Sabres, and Senators. It's going to be a tough season for them. Who knows on the back end? I have question marks on the back end. Do they have enough? Can Ekblad stay healthy? Does Forsland have a big season? How do the new players fit into the squad? Does Tkachuk pop off? Those are all question marks in the air that I don't know that the Panthers are able to put everything together to have a solid year like they did last year. Again, being able to repeat as President's Trophy champions is going to be tough, but man, oh man, it's going to be a fun year to watch some of these new faces down in Florida. I'll definitely be tuning into the Tampa Bay Florida Panthers games, however many they end up playing. Who knows what's going to happen with them, but man, it's going to be interesting to see how they play and what players they're going to try to bring back and what the goaltending situation is going to bring. Again, could be stellar goaltending this year and makes it hard on upper management to make that decision whether or not to have 2 goalies high on payroll or not. We'll have to wait and find out. But I want to hear from the Florida Panthers fans down below in the comments. Who's going to have a big year? Are the boys going to have a big year? Are they going to be back in the playoffs fighting against the likes of Tampa, Boston, Toronto? Or are they just going to miss out? Are they going to be hit with the injury bug? What's going to happen? I want to hear from the Florida Panthers fans down below in the comments. But also, if you've made it to this point in the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're growing like crazy, and I can't thank you guys enough for the love and support you've been showing this channel. The community is awesome. I love you guys so much, and let's continue to grow. We're going to hit 500 before the start of the season, but let's continue growing and see how high we can get growing this awesome hockey community. But that's going to be it for today's episode. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to drop a thumbs up on this video. We will see you guys next time, and as always, stay dusty.